Hello students, welcome back again. In the first video lecture of the gravitation, we discussed about Kepler's first law. In this video lecture, we are going to discuss Kepler's second law. What is Kepler's first law? Are you remembered? Yes. What is Kepler's first law? Yes, that is all the planets are revolving around the sun in a path. It is not a circle, it is a elliptical path. And the sun is situated at any one focus of the ellipse. Okay, that is clear. Now, what is second law? Kepler's second law. What he was explained in a second law. We are going to see now. Now, this is the elliptical path of the planet around the sun. The sun is situated at one of the focus. This is my position of the sun. Consider the position of the planet is here. Consider the position of the planet there. I am joining the planet and the sun. A line which joins the planet and the sun, which is known as the line which joins the planet and the sun, is called radius vector. Okay. After one day, I am going to find the planet position is here. After one day, I am finding the planet position is here. Again, I am joining the planet and the sun. That is called radius vector. If you observe, this radius vector is sweeps a area. That radius vector is swept a area. How much area it is swept? That is this much area. This is the area swept by the radius vector. This is the area swept by the radius vector in a time of one day. Okay. Now consider another position of the planet here. This is my position of the planet. Now I am joining the line to the planet and the sun. That is called again radius vector. Okay. Now after one day, this is a one day after. After one day, again the position of the planet is here. Again I am joining the sun to the planet. How much area it is swept? That is, this is the area which is swept by the radius vector. This is the area swept by the radius vector. This is the area swept by the radius vector. In a one day again, the time is one day. Here also time is one day. What is the Kepler's second law means? That is, the area swept by the radius vector is equal in equal intervals of time. See, time is one day. Here also I am taking as a one day. Therefore, this much area swept by the radius vector in one day, right? This is the area swept by the radius vector again in one day. Therefore, the radius vector is sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. What is radius vector? The line which joins the sun to the planet. The line joining of the planet to the sun sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time, which is called Kepler's second law. Okay, here I am defining a term that is called aerial velocity. What is aerial velocity means? See, this is a radius vector, right? Which is sweeps the area. How much area? This is the area dA. Area, a small area which is swept by the radius vector in a one day. So that is in a unit time, in a time of one day. So it is a unit time. How much area swept by the radius vector? That is called aerial velocity. What is aerial velocity means? dA by dt. I am writing aerial velocity as dA by dt. That is called area swept upon unit time. That is area swept in 1 second or a unit time. How much in a unit time? How much area it is sweeping? In the same time, how much area here it is sweeping? So according to Kepler's second law, dA by dt is known as aerial velocity. So this is called aerial velocity, which is always going to be a constant. How much area in this position, in this two positions, how much area it is sweeping, the same area is going to sweep in a equal interval of time. So means I can say that dA by dt is equal to constant. Aerial velocity is going to be a constant, which is known as Kepler's second law. That is Kepler's second law. The line joining the planet. What is the line joining the planet? Radius vector. to the sun sweeps equal areas in equal intervals of time. See, it is sweeping the area, same time, same time. Therefore, that is sweeps out equal areas in equal intervals of time. That is aerial velocity of the planet around the sun. Around the sun, you can take around the sun. So, in an equal interval of time, how much area it is covering? Same area it is going to cover. So, therefore, the aerial velocity dA by dt is equal to constant. What is that constant, sir? That is dA by dt is always is equal to L by 2m. dA by dt is equal to L by 2m. What is L? Angular momentum. What is L? Angular momentum 2 times the mass of the planet. It is the ratio of the angular momentum to the 2 times the mass of the planet. dA by dt is equal to constant, which is equal to L by 2m. Okay. Now see, I am going to explain the Kepler's law, right, in 2 methods. One is the first method. I am going to explain. In first method, we know that, see, this is a radius vector. I am taking r1. Now the planet is moving 2 positions with a velocity v1. The planet is moving with a velocity v1 between the 2 positions, a small position. Therefore, the area covered is dA. The area covered is how much? Means a small area covered, or a small area swept by the radius vector. Now, this is my radius vector. Now the planet, I was assumed that the planet is here. Now this is a radius vector r2. Now it is moving with a velocity v2. Okay. Now, what is the area? We know that if you observe, it is like a triangle. Therefore, area is equal to half into base into height. What is area? Half into base into height. This is my first position I am taking. This is my first position, and here it is my second position I am taking. Okay. Now in first position, what is the area swept by the radius vector? That is equal to how much it is? Half into base is how much? r1 into height is how much? v1. Therefore, that is equal to half v1 r1. Similarly, the area swept by the radius vector in second position, which is equal to, right, that is equal to half into v2 r2. Okay. Therefore, according to Kepler's law, right, the area swept by the radius vector in 2 different positions is going to be same in all positions. Therefore, I can say that half v1 r1 is equal to half v2 r2. Half will be cancelled. v1 r1 is equal to v2 r2. Therefore, I am writing as v1 by v2 is equal to r2 by r1. This is equation. v1 by v2 is equal to r2 by r1. So, I can say that v proportional to 1 by r. V proportional to how much? 1 by r. What is that mean, sir? V proportional to 1 by r. V for velocity, r for radius vector, the line joining the planet to the sun. If you observe, the line joining the radius vector is small, velocity is more according to this equation. V proportional to 1 by r means what, sir? V proportional to inversely proportional to 1 by r means velocity is more. Velocity is more when radius vector is less. Radius vector is small. Okay, and velocity is less when radius vector is large. Observe here. Here the velocity is more. Why? Because the radius vector is compared to here the radius vector is less. The radius vector is less means velocity is more. Here velocity is more. Here radius vector is small. If you observe here the radius vector is large. Therefore, velocity is small. Means, if you observe, if a planet is, for example, it is a planet. If a planet is moving in an elliptical orbit, when it is nearer to the sun, therefore radius vector is less. Then it is moving with a more speed. It is moving with a more velocity. At a particular position, the radius vector is more, means the planet is here. Therefore, the planet is moving slowly, right? But covering whatever it may be, it is moving speedily or it is moving slowly. It covers the equal areas. It covers the equal areas. That is, if a planet is coming to this position, it moves fast, again slow, again coming, moving fast, again becoming slow. So this is known as Kepler's second law. But sweeps the equal areas in equal intervals of time. How it is possible, sir? How the velocity is more? How the velocity is more here? How the velocity is small here? Because according to this equation, v proportional to 1 by r, therefore velocity is more, our radius vector is small. If the velocity is less, radius vector is more. We can explain by using another law of conservation of energy also. That is, see, this is a planet I taken. If you observe, the distance between the planet to the sun is less. If the distance is less means force of attraction is more. Okay, force of attraction is more. Therefore, I can say that here I can write as potential energy is less. Potential energy is less. Why? Because less distance is there. Potential energy is equal to mgh, height. If you observe, h is like a height. Therefore, it is at a small distance. Therefore, potential energy is less. Potential energy is less means kinetic energy is more. Kinetic energy is more. Kinetic energy is more means its velocity is more. Its velocity is more. Total energy remains constant. According to law of conservation of energy, total energy remains constant. If you observe here, force of attraction is more. Due to force of attraction, the planet needs a more velocity because less distance, right? F is equal to g m1 m2 by r square. If you consider the law of gravitation, then force the distance is less, force is more. Force is more means it needs a more velocity. Okay, now observe here. That is, here distance is more. Distance is more means what? Potential energy is more. Kinetic energy is less. Less kinetic energy. Less kinetic energy, less velocity. Velocity is less. V is less. Total energy remains constant. So here observe the force of attraction between the two bodies, nothing but the sun and the planet, is less because distance is more. Distance is more means force of attraction is less. Less force, the body and the planet is moving with a less speed. Okay. So by using this also we can say that right, V proportional to 1 by r. Okay. This Kepler's second law is based on law of conservation of angular momentum. Law of conservation of angular momentum is based on law of conservation. See, aerial velocity. What is aerial velocity? Area swept in a unit time. Area swept in unit time. That is a dA by dt, which is equal to constant in a Kepler's second law. dA by dt is equal to that constant value we are taking as L by 2m. We are going to prove mathematically. Okay. dA by dt is equal to L by 2m. We are proving mathematically. Now to prove mathematically, now this is my elliptical path of the planet. Okay, the sun is here. Okay, now consider the planet at any position. The line which joins the planet and the sun is known as radius vector. The line which joins the sun and the planet is called radius vector r. Okay, now at a time t, the planet is here. After a small interval of time, that is a dt time, means t is equal to t plus dt, the sun is, the planet is at this position. Now this is my radius vector again. Now the radius vector is sweeps a area. That area, a small area, I am taking as dA. The planet is moving with a velocity v, which is making a some angle with the radius vector. That is angle. That angle is known as theta. Okay. Now, how much area swept by the planet? Or how much area swept by the radius vector? That is nothing but area is equal to, we know, half into base into height. Area, a small area, dA is equal to half into base is r into height is, observe here, it is v sin theta dt. Why? Because this velocity is resolved into two components. Here it coming like a v sin theta. Okay, v sin theta, and this is a small area, small time dt. Okay. Now we know that angular momentum L is equal to, we know that angular momentum L is equal to mass into r bar cross v bar. Then L is equal to m into rv sin theta cross product. So this is a mrv sin theta or mvr sin theta. But here we have, see, dA is equal to, I am sending dt this side, therefore dA by dt is equal to half into rv sin theta. But we need a mass, so what I am doing means multiplying with mass and dividing with mass. Therefore this become like a mvr sin theta. What is mvr sin theta? Which is a angular momentum. Therefore dA by dt is equal to L by 2m. This is a aerial velocity which remains constant. If you plot a graph by taking aerial velocity and y-axis, that is a aerial velocity, nothing but a dA by dt. Okay, on y-axis, and time on x-axis. Okay, aerial velocity taking on y-axis and time on x-axis. Okay, now the graph is like a aerial velocity remains constant, area swept is a constant. So this is the graph. Okay, it is total about Kepler's second law.